All right, we're here. Gonna get our coffee, our cigarette. Gonna get this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night started. Okay. What's up, buddy? Doing good. How are you?
9:45.
Can you imagine if the word buddy did not exist in the English vocabulary? You know how embarrassing it would be that you know someone for years and you can't remember their name and the best you can do. What's up, buddy?
Yes, I missed the Christmas.
Or the word brother. What's up, brother?
I'm gonna be here one of those days.
Those words did not exist in the English vocabulary, we would have been in trouble.
No, you did. Have a good day.
What's up, brother?
Hey, brother.
Two-pack doing all right, man. I'm gonna two-pack the Marlboro Red shorts.
Do that for you.
How's the day going for you?
I'll say the day is good, and then you're almost wrapped up.
I hear you, man. I hear you. There was. Oh, no. Did it not go through?
No, that one did not.
But everything's good?
Yeah, I want to say we making it through the grind. Yes, sir.
That's good, man. That's good. Hey, brother, I appreciate you.
You too, man.
If you're there.
Stay up.
Yes, sir. Always. All right, so we got our coffee, we got our cigarette. We are good to go. I got coffee, I got hot chocolate. I mean, can I really complain? No, can't complain. I got my brother beautiful truck, customized to all the bullshit that we're dealing with. We are good to go. We're doing good. I got done with a beautiful podcast earlier. Okay. Turn us off one more time. I mean, look at it. It's a beautiful truck. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful truck. With all the bullshit that we're going through. Okay? Customized to all the bullshit. I got myself a lantern. Oh.
customers get $200 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. Yes! Fano.
Listen up. Yeah, I can't take this.
How's your car? Like new? NJM's been great. Your insurance company?
NJM is magical. That's why so many of their own policyholders renew.
Are you?
Their mascot's room now. Simply a fan.
Unbelievable.
Did you know that you can have permanent teeth in just 24 hours? That's right. Only 24 hours and your new smile is ready. And with affordable payment options, achieving your dream smile has never been easier. Forget waiting months with temporary teeth for those insanely uncomfortable dentures. Backed by over 20,000 5-star Google reviews and winners of the 2024 Dental Implant Restoration Company of the Year.
Ace, hot, yes, Chris, baby.
else eats sandwiches and seems fine. But you're not everyone. That sandwich just made you crash. You're tired. You can't focus. But instead of a coffee, try Lingo. It's a biosensor that tracks your glucose, so you know how your body, and only your body, reacts to different foods. It's proof. For you, sandwich, not so good. Sushi, amazing. Try Lingo to see what food is right for you.
So you have a piano at home, but the only thing that you can play is this? Let me show you how Simply Piano can teach you how to play songs that you actually like. Okay, so first things first, the app is going to teach you how to read and play your first notes. Check it out. It listens to your piano and it tells you if you hit the notes or not. Like my iPad,
FanDuel customers get $200 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins, which leads to some incredible highlights. What is going on? Oh! Look, man. You pulled something. New customers get... Nope.
Looking to get stronger? Join Planet Fitness.
Mustafa Al-Jazari through the police body cams. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. Today we have friends and supporters on a group chat. Casey, Christina Bustos, Michelle, Becky, and other individuals are going to be joining the conversation in a little bit. Now, I have a really bad habit of forgetting where I'm at and just being in my conversation. Now, I'm going to make an effort. I told my friends that I'm going to make an effort to make sure to include them and have them be part of the conversation. Now, I can't promise anything, but I'm making an effort. On that note, let's dive into today's podcast. We have our beautiful cup. The whole county is coming after me, apparently because I have a cup that says the keyword is alleged. Now, it's been 2 years. Mustafa Shelley, how are you, ma'am? Thank you for being part of the conversation. It's been 2 years, and Mustafa Al-Jazari is held in our county jail without a preliminary hearing, without a trial, and the prosecutor refused and is terrified to put the evidence on the record. For the prosecutor that screams Mustafa is guilty, she's terrified to put the evidence on the record. We have sealed documents, discovery documents. We have sealed body cams. The prosecutor and the Commonwealth Attorney went to Judge Carol Weimer and sealed off every document in Mustafa's discovery, every body cam in Mustafa's discovery. The dash camera in the vehicle, the prosecutor and the Commonwealth Attorney sealed it off from the community. Now, for a prosecutor that screams Mustafa is guilty, why are they terrified to show this community the dash camera? Unfortunately for this prosecutor, we have a police officer out of Prince William County who's not happy with what they're doing to stop and put individuals behind closed doors and supplied us with the body cams with the discovery documents that show that this prosecutor has been lying about Mustafa for the past 2 years. Casey, they're terrified that this community is going to see the truth. They're happy. But you have NBC4, Julie Carey, who's a mouthpiece for the police department, who falsified every police report in Mustafa's discovery. Who's terrified that this material is going to come out to the community and they get to see that they've been lying about Mustafa for 2 years. I mean, originally, they charged Mustafa with manslaughter. When that didn't work, and evidence came forward that we had a recording by other brother Muhammad, recorded the conversation between the investigator and Mustafa and supplied it to Internal Affairs. Within 5 days of Internal Affairs admitting that they falsified, this investigator has falsified the statements on the police report, the prosecutor joins the charges and retaliates, and she brings it up to murder. What's going on here? And instead of holding their police officers accountable, the prosecutor protects the investigator by retaliating. And what do they do inside the jail? You know, I'll tell you, what do they do inside the jail? They beat Mustafa. They abuse Mustafa, sexually assault Mustafa inside the jail. We have a video, the CCTV video, where it shows Mustafa is carried unconscious and handcuffed Mustafa from one cell into another cell. An unconscious Mustafa. Mustafa's handcuffed behind his back. Stefana, I love you, ma'am. This is a trial run into what we're doing. So this is a trial run into what we're doing. We're just experimenting, if that makes any kind of sense. We have a podcast. We record a podcast during the day, and then we come out to the community and we play it, physically play it out in the community. Now, we're going to be, this is just a trial run. We're just experimenting with different things. But the whole idea is to take this all the way to DC, put a TV in the truck, and broadcast our podcast out in DC. For anybody that's walking by, every Joe Schmo that walks by, they're going to see what we're talking about. And it's one thing that's going to do, one thing that this is going to do is going to grow the podcast. We're going to let people know about Mustafa and that he needs money for a lawyer. So we're going to be raising money for his lawyer. The legal fund is Mustafa Legal Fund. It's a cash app. And it's going to be on the truck for every Joe Schmo that walks by. They're gonna see that, hey, we're raising money for Mustafa's lawyer. This is what they're doing to Mustafa. This is the situation with Mustafa, and it's a beautiful trial run. So, if you guys have any question, let me know. But thank you for being here. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys are here with us. Farrah, I love you, ma'am. I appreciate you. Casey, everybody. Reputation. This conversation came up during his judicial review. Someone came up and said, Judge Carol Weimer, you don't rule on the evidence, sir. You rule on the relationships. Now, isn't that what we've been screaming in front of the court, in front of the jail for the past 2 years? My mother, my family, my whole entire family, we've been protesting in front of the jail, saying that the prosecutor is lying and the judge is impartial. But for 2 years, they dismissed the conversation and say they don't have any proof. Well, today is a different kind of conversation. It's a different kind of conversation because we have the body cams, and the discovery material. Now, I'm going to pull up a specific video. Julia, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here. By Judge Carol Weimer. So that way, when we're talking about certain issues, we have documents, videos recorded that back up the conversation. Mama, hello, Ma. Hello. Ma, this is a beautiful experiment, and we're experimenting with this. It's a beautiful idea. One, to record a podcast, to have a podcast, and to physically come out and play it out to the community. Casey, I love you, man. Thank you for being here. If I can ask everybody to keep the chat active, that's one way to grow the podcast. Share the podcast out on your social media, on your Facebook. That's going to grow the podcast. So we're going to continue to put effort into this podcast so Mustafa's voice can be out in the community. And this bullshit has to stop.
You'll see a video about his initial review where someone comes up and says, Judge Carol Weimer, you're impartial.
Shelly, Julia, thank you for being here.
What have we here? A judge that refused to look at the videos.
I've got my beautiful lantern right there.
And the
Okay,
Mustafa
it's
Al-Jazari.
actually a lantern. Like, I'm not kidding. It's a lantern.
He hides behind sealing
It's literally
the
a lantern.
documents. Sealing the documents
This is beautiful.
from the community,
I got myself
from
an actual
family,
lantern.
from Mustafa himself. I've never seen a case where you're charging someone.
I mean,
with
if this
something
doesn't give you a seizure, I don't know what will.
show him his own discovery, his own body cam, his own dash
Casey,
camera.
hello.
What are they terrified from? That they're sealing off
No.
everything, even.
I mean, I would hate for any of my trolls to go into my live and then get a seizure because of my lantern. That would be a nightmare. I mean, I can't do it without my trolls. I have a special relationship with my trolls.
You know, the Commonwealth Attorney and the police and this prosecutor
Shelly, thank you, ma'am.
are hoping that maybe if they.
You know, I swear to God, Shelly, you get these jokes. There are certain jokes. There is a certain type of humor that you understand.
And tell them that this is only. We're just getting started. This is the video that I was telling everybody.
Casey, I love you, ma'am.
Is Judge Weimer there? Yes, sir. Okay. Good. Go ahead. How are you doing? How long have you been on the court and why do you want to continue?
How long you've been, and why do you want to continue?
Can I hear it? I'm the end of my first term. So I've been on the court 7.5 years. I find it to be a challenge, and I find it to be an opportunity to serve the Commonwealth.
I mean, a guy applying to work at McDonald's would have probably given a better answer. I found it to be a challenge and an opportunity to serve the Commonwealth. A challenge and an opportunity to serve the Commonwealth. Oh, sir, for 2 years, you've been impartial. You have not been impartial on the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. You've been impartial. I think we're mixing those two words.
Because he's serving the Commonwealth.
You know, he's protecting the relationship that he has with the Commonwealth Attorney. And he's comfortable. You know, Shelly, yes ma'am, he's comfortable because he gets to seal off the body cams. He gets to seal off the discovery, the documents. I mean, who's really to be able to verify whether he's being impartial or not? No one. I mean, if I didn't have the body cams and I didn't have the discovery, we can sit here and have this conversation, but at the end of the day, even though we're in circuit court and everything is on the record, you cannot be able to
Farah, I love you, ma'am. Thank you for being there.
There's no way.
And thank you for donating to Mustafa's legal fund. I love you, ma'am. I appreciate you.
100%. 100%. I mean, you can't seal documents. You can't seal body cams unless you watch them. Unless you know the content of what you're sealing. I mean, you're not sealing off whatever, and you have to have a reason. You watch them. You know what's on it, and you're specifically sealing it because you know you don't want anybody to verify this content, whether you're partial or impartial. You don't want anybody to verify. But unfortunately for this judge,
He just seals everything without watching.
you know, apparently it's a common practice in Prince William County to seal off documents every time you have police misconduct. We see it in the Juan Campos, the 18-year-old that was 9 days into his incarceration was found killed inside Prince William County. Inmates that came forward say that this inmate was murdered on the hand of a correctional officer Eric Lindsay. They sealed off his police body cams when he got arrested. They sealed off all the CCTV from intake and inside the jail. Now, forget this case, forget the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, forget the Juan Campos, the 18-year-old case. Let's talk about Tatiana David, a black girl, an abductee, who the police made the wrong call to pursue the vehicle and take it as far as put 50 bullets into that vehicle and shoot 50 AR-15 bullet holes into that vehicle. Now, the police claim that they found her outside the vehicle, insinuating that we don't know whether it's her boyfriend, the father of her child, is the one that shot her, or she came out the vehicle. They're claiming she came out the vehicle and she was caught in the crossfire. And they're saying we found her outside the vehicle. And the news repeats the narrative to the police department. Now, what do we have today? Body cams where this black girl is turned around like a pretzel inside the vehicle and dragged or repositioned somewhere else. Now, that's not what they've been telling us for 2 years. But what did they do? They sealed off those body cams. And you can't even get the federal government to help you because they're sealed off by the county, by the state level, and they're telling everybody, we're investigating. They're investigating themselves. Now, it's a common practice in Prince William County to seal off body cams. They sealed it off for Mustafa. They sealed it off for Juan Campos. They sealed it off for Tatiana David. We have other files that once we get the go-ahead to talk about, we're going to start releasing those files. Now, you know, the media does not address these body cams that are released. And you know what's disturbing? It's the same police officers that responded to the vehicle accident for my brother Mustafa are the same officers that shot and killed and repositioned Tatiana David's body, and then they're feet away from her body, laughing the same way they were laughing at my brother when he was in a coma in front of his car. He was my brother. Same day. Same day. I mean, God works in mysterious ways where he wants to expose this evil in this county. I mean, you have officers like Casey Fines and other individuals that are feet away from my brother's body when he was in a coma laying in front of his own vehicle. Same officer, Casey Fines, and other officers are feet away from this black girl that her body is riddled with 50 bullet holes. Laughing. What are you laughing about, sir? You know that this community is not going to see the body cams. You know that there is a common practice in Prince William County where the Commonwealth Attorney and the Chief of Police, Peter Newsham, and Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, and instead of holding you accountable, they're going to seal off the body to protect you. Well, unfortunately for you, there's a lot of other police officers that are not okay with this. They're not okay with it. And took those material, put it on a flash drive, documents, discovery documents, files, body cams, and supplied it to me. Now I'm linking it out on the internet. And we have the federal government, now that it's public, are no longer bound by the material is sealed by the state level. Yeah, the state level, yeah, the federal level. When the local government fail you, you ask for the federal government to do their job. But sometimes their hand is tied with bureaucracy. The material is sealed, we're investigating ourselves. Well, it's been 2 fucking years. What have you investigated? What is the outcome? Well, in light of the body cams that are released in the documents, now the federal government gets to see that it's a cover-up. It's a cover-up in the Mustafa Al-Dari case. It's a cover-up in the Tatiana David case. It's a cover-up in other files that were provided in the federal government. Well, you know, I have a video that we sat down with the chief of police, Peter Newsham, a year ago. And this chief of police, the conversation is disturbing. We're going to watch this video with the chief of police. And no accountability. He's covering up for his officers. And is dismissing the whole entire conversation. Well, unfortunately for this chief of police, Peter Newsham, you can no longer dismiss the conversation because we have all your body cams. We have all your documents that the community is watching and is the deciding factor. And
Julia, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move the light, put it somewhere else so that way it's not bothering you. Hang on.
And we're gonna make sure.
All right, I'm just gonna put it. I'm gonna put it right here so that way. All right, there we go. That's better.
We have Mustafa joining the conversation from Prince William County Adult Detention Center.
All right, I just put it right here.
This call is from a corrections facility
All right, there we go.
subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Towing.
Mustafa, hello. Mustafa, thank you for joining the conversation. You're in the middle of the podcast. This is not another boring podcast.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Mustafa Al-Jazari through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer under
That's a lot better.
microscope. Now, Mustafa, thank you for joining the conversation. We have everybody on YouTube. You're live. We have Casey. We have Shelly. We have Christina Bustos. We have Shirley. We have everybody here. Mustafa, we were just talking about Judge Carol Weimer and the common practice in Prince William County. When every time they have police misconduct, they seal off the body cam. And we were playing a video where Judge Carol Weimer, during his judicial review, someone comes up and says, Judge Weimer, you rule regardless of the evidence. You rule on relationships. Now, for the past 2 years, we've been screaming that Judge Carol Weimer is living up to the reputation, that he rules despite of the evidence, and he rules based on relationship. And Mustafa, the mic is yours. You've been held in a county jail for 2 years where the prosecutor is lying. Unfortunately for that prosecutor, we have all her body cams, all her discovery, to show this community that this prosecutor has been lying, that this judge has been impartial. I mean, for a prosecutor that screams, you're guilty, why is she terrified to show this community the dash camera?
Exactly. You want to take a look at and see what I had for hearing, where it was actually a bond motion. That bond motion, the judge listened to the recording between myself and Robert Trump. He saw the dash camera video, and the first thing he said is, give the man his bond. He gave me a $5,000 unsecured bond, which means that all I have to pay is $500, and I'm free to go. Not even house arrest, not even no ankle bracelet, nothing. That's what Judge Carol Weimer said. He said, give the man his bond. And what did Sarah Savage say? The prosecutor said, the Commonwealth is not going to be very happy with your decision. They're not going to be happy with your decision. What does that mean?
They're threatening the judge. They're threatening the judge. She's threatening the judge.
He heard the audio between Robert Drum and myself. And for him to give me bonds of me just paying $500, think about it. This so-called murderer, they're painting me as a murderer, and he's giving me a $500 bond. Like, all I have to pay is $500. Does that make sense?
Now, Mustafa.
Does that charge it? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what I find really interesting is how Julie Carey on the news lies to the community, and she puts on a different narrative. She says, after the judge saw the dash camera, the judge reversed the bond. That's not true. I have the audio for the proceeding. Mustafa, I have the audio for the proceeding. The judge saw the dash camera, heard the audio where the investigator falsified the police report, and gave you the bond. The prosecutor gets up in court, and she threatens the judge. She tells him the Commonwealth is not going to be happy with you, Judge Carol Weimer. What is that supposed to mean? What are you threatening this judge with? Let's watch, Mustafa, let's watch the NBC4 and have a conversation.
Just the seconds before a car crashed into oncoming traffic and killed a woman and her young daughter.
Now, the man who has been jailed for more than a year, accused of intentionally causing that crash, may soon bond out of jail. He faces 2 charges of second-degree murder.
Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey was in court today when prosecutors presented evidence, including video from that dash cam. And we want to warn you, some of what you're about to see is disturbing. This is some of the dash cam video the prosecution played for the judge to try to convince him to keep Mustafa Al-Jazari behind bars. It shows the moments before his car crashed into oncoming traffic, killing his girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine, and her 5-year-old daughter. There is no audio. The prosecutors say the couple's facial expressions indicated they were arguing, continuing a fight that began earlier in the day over a former boyfriend. Then, as the car reaches an intersection, it veers left into oncoming traffic. Prosecutors saying Al-Jazari did it intentionally.
Now, I find that interesting.
As she braces for
what they do.
Al-Jazari's expression changing little.
What they do.
Telling the judge the video proves if Al-Jazari's released, he poses a danger to the public.
What I find interesting is after a whole entire year, they release a deformed version of a dash camera. They chop up the camera, piece it together, and release 4 seconds of this dash camera, telling the community, this is the dash camera. Well, why not release a full dash camera? What are you terrified that this community is going to see when you release a full dash camera? Not the deformed version that you chopped up and released to the community. Unfortunately for this prosecutor, we have the full dash camera, and we're going to take a deep dive into this dash camera, and it shows the whole entire thing is a vehicle accident, and there was no argument inside the vehicle. Now, I find it interesting that they say that the dash camera does not have audio. Well, we have a document from the discovery that Officer Zymus, with the digital forensic, admit that this dash camera does in fact have audio, and the audio is on the SD card. Now, why is the prosecutor terrified that this audio is going to be introduced into the record? Mustafa, by law, is entitled to hire an expert to go in and download the SD card audio and put it into the record. This prosecutor is terrified. For a prosecutor that screams Mustafa is guilty, for NBC4 who screams that Mustafa is guilty, why are they terrified that this community is going to see the dash camera and the audio is going to be released? Unfortunately for this prosecutor and NBC4, we have a giant voice on our social media, and this community is watching. And we have the dash camera that the community is watching, and they're calling this prosecutor a liar. Why have you lied about Mustafa?
I've never been convicted of a crime in my life. I've never been to jail in my life.
You want to tell me that someone is going to do this on purpose? He's not wearing a seatbelt, and he has a dash camera in his vehicle. Make this make sense. Give me a narrative that actually makes any kind of sense. And unfortunately for this prosecutor, we have the dash camera, and the dash camera show it's a vehicle accident. That Mustafa hit the brake. We have the body cam of the investigators who falsified the police report. Those body cams were sealed, are still sealed, but we have them. And they say that Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. They say that all these are his skid marks, and Mustafa cleared the vehicle, and the SUV turned into him. But what did they do? They seal off those body cams. Casey, one more time. What happened?
I said those cops are a danger to society.
The cops are the danger to society. We have them falsify Mustafa police reports. We have them murder and drag, reposition a black girl's body and put it somewhere else. And the cover-up is worse than the crime. Let's continue watching the news clip.
The defense attorney had a much different take on it, saying even if the couple was having a disagreement, that's not proof the crash was intentional or that Al Jazeera is dangerous.
They have a piece of video from one instance where it appears my client was trying to pass a vehicle and then in a moment of panic made a bad decision, an incorrect decision, because he was flustered and panicked. That is not a reason to put somebody in jail, finding that they're in general an unreasonable danger to the community.
Prosecutors also play a police investigator's interview with Al Jazeera made 4 days after. All of what he said was disregarded what the dash cam video shows. But the judge ruling prosecutors failed to prove Al Jazeera would be dangerous if released. He granted a $5,000 bond. The decision was swallowed.
The prosecutor failed to prove that this is intentional, that Mustafa is a danger. So the judge gave out a bond, a $5,000 bond. You want to tell me that someone's being charged with double murder and the judge is giving him a $5,000 bond? What happened in court? And I have to record it for the whole entire proceeding. The prosecutor...
Keep us in your prayers.
Got up in court and she said, Your Honor, Mustafa
I can't hear you.
Investigator Drum that he was arguing inside
Falsified
the vehicle.
police report.
He was angry at Dorothy inside the vehicle. Now we have an audio that we supplied to Internal Affairs that this investigator falsified those statements on the police reports. And we have a letter from the Chief of Police from Internal Affairs admitting that this investigator falsified the statements. Now, the lawyer at the time got up and he said, Your Honor, I have an audio that Mustafa never said that, and this police report is falsified. Your Honor, I have the recording. Now, the judge listened to that recording. It's a 30-minute recording. We will get to listen to it. The judge watched the dash camera, and based on the evidence, he gave Mustafa a $5,000 bond. The prosecutor gets up in court, and she says, Your Honor, the Commonwealth Attorney will not be happy with you. We want a 7-day stay before you release Mustafa. What is that supposed to mean? The Commonwealth is not happy with you. She's threatening the judge. What do you have on Judge Carol Weimer that the judge gives out a bond and you force the judge's hand to put on a 7-day stay, only for you to come back later and say, Your Honor, a month ago, I'm alleging, without any evidence, she doesn't show any evidence, she just says, Mustafa threatened a correctional officer. Well, the real question is, if that was such an issue, and if that was real, why didn't you say that in the first bond hearing? Why did you have to say that 7 days later? 2, we have evidence in light of the body cams coming out, in light of the discovery. I have an audio where a witness inside the jail say on a recorded line to the jail, Mustafa never threatened a correctional officer. It was the other way around. Because Mustafa was a witness in the 18-year-old that was murdered inside the jail on the hand of a correctional officer, Mustafa, correctional officer, would enter his cell, beat him, violate his religious items, his Quran, his play a rug, and they're the one that beat him up. That's evidence. And we have a CCTV video that shows that it's the other way around. Now, Judge Carol Weimer had access to those evidence at the time because the lawyer, Mustafa's lawyer, subpoenaed that material, and that's why it's in the discovery. And the judge saw the evidence, and regardless of the evidence, he reversed Mustafa's bond. Now, we're going to take a deep dive into the witness, the recording. We're going to take a deep dive into the CCTV inside the jail on that day. And the community is a deciding factor into watching. Is Judge Carol Weimer, have Judge Carol Weimer been impartial? We have evidence saying that this judge has not been impartial. Mustafa, I'll tell you one thing. This prosecutor in this county is in hot waters because it's no longer a conversation. We have the evidence to prove that. We have the evidence to show what they're doing.
And now that it's out, you get to compare and see what the hell is going on here. The police are tampering, manipulating, lying, and violating their oath. And you got witnesses that are plotting to kill me. That's the witnesses that are coming up. And you got fake witnesses such as Amy Lucille Hudson, who's claiming to be a witness. And she's still in an identity of Christina Kazai.
Mustafa,
Has been writing me letters here.
I have the star witness in your case, Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, admit on a recorded line that Dorothy, that he's sleeping with a minor, that he slept with Dorothy's 16-year-old child at the time. On a recorded line, he says, Kylie shows up at his apartment, high, doesn't even know where she's at, so high that she doesn't know where she's at, and he would wake up with her in his bed. Now, on a recorded line, he says that. And then he says that 16-year-old Kylie came up to him and had asked him, can we kill Mustafa and make it look like an accident? Now today we have a vehicle accident. And the police department, the police mechanic, and the police department inspect your vehicle and find out brake failure and transmission failure. Nothing tampered with your vehicle. We have evidence. We have Kylie admit that she has a relationship, that her dad works for Billy, the club owner that had a big problem with you a month before you met Dorothy. She said, my dad works for Billy. Unbeknownst to you, unbeknownst to everybody, you got in a relationship with Dorothy, who her 16-year-old daughter, her dad works for Billy, the guy that almost ran out of business, the strip club owner. Now, when you have a problem with an owner of a strip club, that's like fucking with the mob. Now, you want to tell me that Dorothy's daughter has a relationship with Billy and he's hanging out with all of the strippers? Let's hear what Kylie, on a recorded line, is talking about.
My dad, he's a piercer. He pierces like a lot of strippers, and he had brought up to them what happened and who they were, and they were like, yeah, we know this guy, like he used to record our license plates and put it on the internet and like follow us home and stuff. So I also was thinking, I don't want them to follow me home, and I don't want to put myself in a position where, you know, I'm unsafe.
So she's repeating the sentiments of Billy. She's repeating the sentiments of the strippers who are protecting Billy. At the time, Mustafa had a location where he goes in a parking lot and promote his business. This is Billy And Mustafa, I'll let you tell the story. Why am I telling the story? This is Billy. Me and Mustafa, we go to that location, that parking lot, and I help my brother promote his business. He helps me promote my business. Mustafa has a physical therapy equipment business. He sells heat warmers. He sells small physical therapy equipment devices that are FDA approved. And I would go there and help him promote and sell his equipment. And at the same time, I'm passing out flyers to get coverage in the area for mobile mechanic, roadside assistance. I do mobile mechanic and roadside assistance. And that location, Mustafa's been going to that location for over 3 years. Now, it's a public area. It's a public easement. And if you look up the rules to that public easement, Billy, the strip club owner, has no right to come out and kick Mustafa off the property. One day he comes out and he's attempting to kick Mustafa off the property. So I take out my cell phone and I record the interaction, hoping that this crazy man has enough brain to de-escalate because the police are about to show up. And there's a video where he's assaulting Mustafa. And this video goes viral. Over 7 million. The police shows up. Prince William County shows up to that area. And they seem to have a relationship with Billy. Now, even though we had every right to be there and continue to be there, we went across the street. But it wasn't enough for Billy and the strippers that works for Billy. The same strippers that we have videos that loved Mustafa, were promoting Mustafa's business, are now attempting to go after Mustafa because their boss is not happy. Now, we go across the street, there's an empty parking lot, a vacant parking lot, and they would come across the parking lot and agonize Mustafa, record the video only to take it to Billy.
I got enough to last me the rest of the night.
Now Billy went
I got
viral.
barely
The
enough
community
to last
stopped
me the rest of the
boycotting
night.
a white racist man be racist to Mustafa. That video went viral and the community stopped boycotting his establishment. Now, a month into that situation, Mustafa met Dorothy. Mustafa had no idea that Kylie, 16-year-old Kylie, who doesn't live at the apartment, that her dad works for Billy. You know what kind of relationship, how long of a relationship you have to be able to pierce all the strippers for Billy? That's a deep relationship. Jason Clapp works for Billy. Now, a vehicle accident happened, and sealed documents are coming out. Where in the sealed documents, it shows that Kylie has a lot of animosity with Mustafa. She's angry at Mustafa. She's not happy with Mustafa. And she has a lot to say, a lot of hearsay. She wasn't at the apartment. There's a Google mess inside the apartment. There's video Google mess inside the apartment that shows it's a beautiful relationship. And Kylie wanted to turn it and be a witness to Mustafa's character and say, Mustafa's a monster. Now, Kylie, why is Mustafa a monster? Is it because your dad works for Billy and he's not happy with Mustafa? This is her dad, Jason Clapp. Now, is that why? Is it because your mom is too tired from your bullshit as a 16-year-old at the time you were engaging in a lot of stuff that your mom did not agree with. We have Glenn Ford on a recorded line give us insight into what the mother was going through with Kylie. Kylie's on drugs. Kylie is living a lifestyle that her mom did not agree with. Kylie is separated by CPS, so she's not allowed to be there. Now, Kylie lives with her dad, Jason Clapp. And her mom does not want to have anything to do with her. And at one point she tells her, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I choose my boyfriend. Leave me the fuck alone and go live with your dad. Kylie's upset. Kylie is upset. Now she has a lot of hearsay that she's terrified that it's coming out, that the Google Nest is coming out inside the apartment because it shows that Kylie is lying about Mustafa. Now, let's watch what Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, on a recorded line says that Kylie had asked him to do. On a recorded line, Glenn Ford says that Kylie solicited to get Mustafa killed. She wanted him to kill Mustafa. And can we make it look like an accident? Let's listen to that recording. Now, a private investigator went deep undercover, and Glenn Ford admitted to her on a recorded line that Kylie went up to him and asked him to kill Mustafa, and can we make it look like an accident? This is the private investigator who was sitting down with a lawyer, Elaine Jarvis, in an interview.
Okay, so come into the punch. What did he tell you in this report? Okay, her daughter.
Casey, I love you, ma'am. Did you send it to Did you send it to Mustafa Legal Fund? Yeah, Casey. Casey, I love you, ma'am. I'm gonna check in a little bit, and I'll let you know. But thank you for being there, and thank you for donating to Mustafa's Legal Fund. I love you, ma'am.
It made me think about other things in our conversation. For example, where he said he had to put the daughter out because she was just causing those too many problems. It makes me wonder, was there an issue between the mother being concerned about his relationship with her? Okay, so
It makes her wonder about the relationship that he has with the daughter, where we have a recorded line where Glenn Ford admits that Kylie shows up so high that she doesn't know where she's at, and he would wake up where she's in his bed. Now the question is, what does Kylie Clapp have on Glenn Ford that she has him wrapped around her finger, that he's lying about Mustafa?
What's up, brother?
That she's comfortable enough to
Follow us
solicit
on
him to
YouTube.
kill Mustafa.
That's my little brother.
This is another
They falsified the police
star
report.
witness
They
in the
beat
Mustafa
him
Al-Jazari
at
case,
Pennsylvania County
Glenn
Adult
Ford,
Detention Center. 2 years in
and
solitary over
he
falsified
has
police
a
report.
lot of
I've got their
hearsay
body
to say
cams.
about Mustafa.
I've got their discovery.
Now, he's
and I've got
terrified
a channel
that there's a
on YouTube
Google Nest
where
inside the
I'm
apartment,
exposing what they're doing to
video
Mustafa.
Google
The media
Nest,
doesn't tell
that
the
showed that Mustafa
The media doesn't
loves
tell
his
the
family,
truth. I'm
the
out here
kids,
telling my brother.
Dorothy, his girlfriend, and the kids and Dorothy love him. They're terrified. Him and Kylie Clapp are terrified that there are video evidence that show that they're lying. Let's hear what he's talking about. The question is, what does Kylie Clapp have on Glenn Ford that
It's better than coffee.
she's comfortable enough to solicit him to kill Mustafa? Let's listen to this audio.
Sir, I appreciate it.
woke up, find her in my bed. I wake up finding her in my bed. And this is a hour-long video. You can listen to it on YouTube. You can listen to the full audio. Now, in another portion of this audio, he says that he says, Mustafa, you have 1 minute. Do me a favor. All right, sounds good. I love you. Take care of yourself. We're here, and this prosecutor, I promise you, by the time I'm done with her, she's going to end up in jail. And including all these individuals that are lying about you. I love you, man. Stefana, Shelly, Christina, Bustos, Casey, Shirley, Huggy, Presence. Goodbye. I love you, man.
My last message would be the diddlers have been identified. And when I come out soon, I'll see you guys in person.
I love you, man. I love you. We are your voice on the outside. We're all Mustafa, and the diddlers have been identified. I love you, and I'll talk to you later.
I know. I just want to say God bless you, and thank you for your support. Anyone that's putting money in my book, I really, really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. You're actually keeping me going during this difficulty.
Thank you for using Global Telling.
And we have Mustafa's Legal Fund. This is Mustafa's Legal Fund. One of the things that we're doing in this podcast is we're raising money so Mustafa can have a lawyer. This is Mustafa's Legal Fund. You can cash out the legal fund. It's $, Mustafa Legal Fund. So to donate to Mustafa's Legal Fund is just literally, it's a cash app, and it's Mustafa Legal Fund. We're raising money for Mustafa's lawyer so that Mustafa can fight this prosecutor in court. Now, there's a portion in this audio that's very disturbing. So he admits to the private investigator that he slept with a 16-year-old, Dorothy's 16-year-old. That Glenn Ford slept with a 16-year-old. He's admitting to the private investigator. This is not me saying it. This is not what the private investigator is saying. This is on a recorded line. Now keep in mind, this recording happened at MGM in Maryland. The CCTV video and other videos are available. They will be played out in court. And this is on a recorded line. He's admitting to this private investigator that he slept with the 16-year-old. Now he takes it further and he admits other things. There's a portion in this audio that is just as disturbing, where he talks about washing Dorothy's kids when he was in a relationship with her. Dorothy has a 9-year-old, has a 10-year-old, and he's admitting to this private investigator that he's washing these kids, and he's telling the private investigator, I'm washing them. I'm not looking at them. I'm just washing them. I mean, you want to talk about being a pedophile? You have taken this to a whole new level. Maybe we should get Vitili on this. Vitili is, he has a giant show
But there's been
where he exposed pedophiles, and I tagged him in this video on TikTok. Vitili Vitili has a giant presence on the internet, on social media. I've tagged him in this recording, and we would love to hear what his take is on the situation. That we have a star witness who's a pedophile. Let's listen to the other portion in the audio.
So if you go on YouTube, it's at 55 minutes.
Teach him how to fucking take a shower. I mean, I wasn't in there with the boys looking around or whatever. Like, yo, when y'all wash up, this how you wash up. Every day when I come home from work, whatever, I spend at least an hour of my time teaching that little boy how to read.
He would force them to shower. He would teach them how to shower. Now, looking at them, I'm just teaching them how to shower. We're talking about a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old. What the fuck are you doing? You're 40 years old. What the fuck are you doing? Now, we tagged our good friend Vitelli in this conversation, and we want his take into catching a pedophile. And this is a giant case at Prince William County, where the prosecutor is using a pedophile. Now, on that note, I just want to point something out really quick. See, I've got this truck so beautifully customized. Let's leave this here. Let's take the cell phone so I can show everybody what I'm talking about. So, my beautiful lantern is right here. Okay? Beautiful truck, customized, beautiful. All right, so this is what I wanted to show everybody. You see that pole? I'm gonna get a giant poster with Glenn Ford's picture on it that says the star witness is a pedophile. Lied about my brother. And then drive it all the way from Stafford to Woodbridge to DC, all the way in Maryland. And we're going to tell this community that we have a pedophile being used as the star witness lying about Mustafa. Now, isn't that going to be beautiful? All right, let's continue this podcast. What's up, brother? Sir, I appreciate you. You didn't have to do this. Thank you. And I appreciate you, sir.
If you're out here doing this, that means you stand for what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
I've had the same thing you talking about done to me, man, for over a 10-year period. I mean, once I got on this shit list, every time I looked around, I was getting harassed.
Well, my brother was going through. He sued the police.
Yeah.
He had a lawsuit against the police. They were harassing him left and right. He got in a tragic vehicle accident, and they took advantage of that vehicle accident. Now, instead of it being a vehicle accident, they're charging him with murder. And I have all the body cams. I have all the evidence that this is a vehicle accident, but they falsified all the police reports.
Well, let me tell you something. Take it from me. I relate to a man beat up. Because let me tell you something. They don't like the news. And they'll follow you and you help them and they do.
You know, sir, I did just about 8 years of school contract now.
Yep.
And one of the biggest people are not going to do is intimidate me.
Well, let me tell you, I went through the same shit. I'm a rebel. I'm a motherfucker that if I'm right, I'm right. You're not going to make me be wrong. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to say who wrong, but they put a lot of people on. Yeah, it got so bad that when I would leave home, I would start driving 100 miles an hour just so I could see who was following me. Because you never know. They change cars. This car follows you for so long, and that'll drop off, and it'll be a motorcycle. So, give me words of wisdom. Eventually, what happened, they end up bringing the police, and the police got involved. And they end up bringing, in this, they end up bringing away all of the police. And that's how they finally got new success. Say, look, we cleaned it up. You leave this shit alone, they might be enough. They got rid of the whole department. Right.
You know, a year ago, the FBI got involved.
That's exactly that one country.
But what they did, they showed up. The local FBI showed up and said, "Look, well, now a year into it, now I have their body cams. Now I have their discovery, and this material was sealed by a judge. It's not out, but I have.
Yeah, that's right.
I have one of their own. Gave me a flight crash.
That's right.
So now I'm leaking out on the internet. I'm putting their body cam on that, and I'm putting the document, and I have proof of what they done to my brother. So now we're demanding, when the local government fails you ask the federal government to step in. Where is the FBI out of D.C. into investigating this county? And that's what we're asking for. I mean, I'm out here. You know, this is my podcast, by the way.
Okay.
It's on YouTube. Every day I record. I go over the material, the body cam, the discovery, and I'm exposing what they're doing to my brother. And I come out here and I play it. I'm going to get a bigger TV. I'm going to drive it all the way to D.C. And we're going to have a conversation. You know, the media doesn't want to report on what's going on.
Well, I'll tell you, when they came in for me, they resolved it. The FBI resolved it. But the damage that I went through, I went in business 4 or 5 different times, man. They would harass me to send the fire department in to say I don't comply with what's going on. And man, since you've been here tonight, I've watched these 4 police cars.
I know what they do.
So man, all I can tell you is, this is how I got over it. I only come out at night. I'm never out in the daytime because I don't want them to set me up. You know, the motherfucker pull you over, throw dope in your car and shit. All I'm saying to you is, man, be careful.
You know, I tell you, sir, the Lord is our protector.
Oh yeah.
What's your name, sir?
Tony.
Tony. Oh,
Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you, bro.
Very nice meeting you.
Take care of
Yes,
yourself,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir. Keep your fighters.
All right, I will.
God bless you, brother.
I will.
Sir.
Him admitting on a recorded line that he's a pedophile. Prosecutor is using the pedophile into Mustafa's case. She's calling Glenn Ford a star witness. Well, prosecutor Sarah Sammy, your star witness is already impeached before he even takes the stand. Your other star witness, Kylie Clapp, Dorothy's 16-year-old daughter at the time. Oh, today she's 18, but she likes to hide behind being a minor. You're not a fucking minor. You solicited Mustafa to be killed and make it look like an accident. Can't hide behind a minor when you're soliciting to kill somebody. The prosecutor is now looking at you as a liability in light of all the evidence that are coming forward. You have a relationship that on a recorded line, you said you have a relationship with Billy, Mustafa, met your mother, Dorothy, a month into this situation. And now you're telling us that your dad has a deep relationship with Billy, and now you're hanging out around the strippers. That's what you're saying on a recorded line.
My dad, he's a piercer. He pierces like a lot of strippers, and he had brought up to them.
He pierces all the strippers. Her dad works for Billy, and she goes up to Glenn Ford's, the jealous ex-boyfriend, and solicit to get Mustafa killed. Can we kill him and make it look like an accident?
Supposed to hold the car. And she wanted me to shoot like kill him. The older daughter wanted to kill him? Yeah. Like where? Like, could you please, like, if I think it looked like, so like, you know what I'm saying? Like something, if like something fits, would you do it? And I'm like, yeah, no.
Private investigator went deep undercover, sat down with Mustafa's lawyer at the time in an interview.
Okay, so coming to the punch. What did he tell you in this recording? Told me that her daughter asked him to kill Mustafa. Wow. Can you just give me it's about you? I can't think of anybody that I would ask to kill somebody. It makes me question his relationship with the daughter. It's
We have other recordings and other videos that we're going to be releasing of Glenn Ford, and obviously there is we're taking our time. We're taking our time and releasing certain things. Certain things has to be released at the right time. There is audios and videos that are going to be released. Glenn Ford's mother has been identified. The hotel that she works for has been identified. Her boss has been identified. Glenn Ford's family members have been identified. We're going to be reaching out to certain individuals. There's material that we're going to be supplying certain individuals with. The DOJ and the FBI, we're working very closely with them. We're supplying them with information. They're supplying us with information. We have individuals that fall under the category of private investigators that are working behind the scenes, are doing their job. This is a giant case, and it's going to take time. And we're just going through the process. Now, we're operating within the law. We're doing everything by the book. And we invite Glenn Ford. We invite 18-year-old Kylie Clapp. We invite Amy Hodgkins, who pretends to be Christine Alcazar on the internet. We've identified her, we've identified Dell, we've identified other individuals surrounding this character. We invite Stephanie Claiborne, Kate0707, who pretends to be Kate0707 on the internet, but is the wife of the investigator that falsified the police report, to be part of the conversation. We have a giant podcast. We'll tell you where we're at. You're welcome to join us in the podcast and be part of the conversation. Now, Kylie, on a recorded line, came up to Glenn Ford and solicited that Mustafa gets killed. And can we make it look like an accident? Well, today we have a vehicle accident, and the police mechanic on their body cam, the police mechanic on a police body cam admit that this vehicle, the brakes didn't work and the transmission didn't work. The drive shaft disconnected from Mustafa's engine. The drive shaft disconnected from the engine. Now, the computer inside the vehicle showed that Mustafa hit the brake. As a matter of fact, the dash camera showed that Mustafa hit the brake. The body cam from the investigator, Drum, and investigator Chad Mason, on their body cam at the scene of the accident, admit that Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident, that all these are his skid marks, that Mustafa cleared all the vehicles, and the SUV is the one that turned into him. This is a body cam. This is the dash camera. And on this dash camera, you'll see that before the intersection, you see that the baby in the back shifts forward twice. You see Mustafa's body shifts forward as he's hitting the brake. The computer inside the vehicle showed that Mustafa was hitting the brake the whole entire time. If you fast forward, let me pull it up in the, hang on, where I can slow down this dash camera. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Mustafa's driving. He takes a lane. He thought it was a regular lane. You see right there? You see the back seat? 5-year-old Empress, how she shifts forward. There's no way that you can shift forward without Mustafa hitting the brake. Mustafa hit the brake and it shifts forward. The whole car shifts forward. But the brake gave out. The police mechanic inspected the vehicle and he said there was brake failure. You see that? You see 5-year-old Empress, how she shifts forwards? The whole vehicle shifts forwards. Mustafa hit the brake twice. His whole body shifts forwards. He's hitting the brake. The computer inside the vehicle shows that he hit the brake. The police mechanic, before we move from the dash camera, this dash camera is cut by the police department. It's muted by the police department. Now this is a Rexon dash camera. Officer Zymus in the Discovery admit that this dash camera does in fact have audio. And the audio is on the SD cards. The police department is blocking. By law, Mustafa is entitled, by law, he can hire an independent expert. He should be able to download the audio off the SD card and put it on the record. Now, the prosecutor is terrified that Mustafa is going to download this audio, and she's blocking every effort. It's been 2 years. For the prosecutor that screams Mustafa is guilty, she's terrified that the audio is going to be on the record. From this dash camera, we see that there is no argument. She claims there's an argument, but she's concealing the dash camera. She hides the dash camera from the community because the minute that you see this dash camera, you see that there is no argument and this is a people accident. As a matter of fact, we're finding out that this police department not only lied about there's no audio, but in fact cut the dash camera. This dash camera is cut before impact. If you watch the dash camera, there's no impact. Where's the impact? Where's the rest of the dash camera? Now, this police department is so incompetent that even when they cut the dash camera, they didn't do a good job cutting it. What does that mean? This is a Rexon dash camera. It has a lens facing forward and a lens facing in. It's connected to the same computer in this dash camera. Now, if this dash camera, for whatever reason that they claim stopped before impact, which defies logic, this dash camera, there's no way that it stopped before impact. But let's go along with their narrative. Why is it that the outside lens and the inside lens cuts off at different frames? This police department is so incompetent that when they cut this dash camera, they cut it at different frames. The inside view is 8.0 and the outside view is 8.3 frames. You see how it ends? How this frame on the inside ends before the one on the outside? This stops at 8.0. But the outside frame continues rolling. This police department is so incompetent that when they cut this dash camera, they cut it at 8 seconds, but they didn't cut it at the frame level, which showed that they manually cut this dash camera. Now, this prosecutor is in hot water, this police department is in hot water, and we're having a conversation and we're asking for accountability. This is a body cam that's sealed off by the county where the police mechanic on a police body cam admit there's brake failure and transmission failure. This body cam is about over 2 hours long. This is a portion of it where they admit there's brake failure. Okay. As long as we can make sure that whoever put them on look like they did them correctly and look like they're not causing any issues, then I'm okay without the calibers coming off. If somebody, yeah. Can I see if it can stop its rotation? Yeah, that's fine. I think we can do that. Okay, Bruce, I'm gonna push the brake. He's gonna spin that. Can you? That's fine. And on your cam, can you see record the stopping of motion? No, that's fine. No, I'm listening. Go forward. All right. It works? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Just tell me when you're ready. You ready? I'm on it. Now it's still coming. Okay. So what they're talking about is the Prince William County police officer would hold a bar, depress the brake, and the mechanic would spin the wheel, and the police mechanic is telling the investigator that this one keeps going. What that means, the vehicle did not have brakes. The back passenger caliper did not engage. The front passenger caliper did not engage. This body cam continues to talk about the drive shaft, inspecting the drive shaft, and how in the middle of Mustafa hitting the brake, the drive shaft disconnected. The computer inside the vehicle shows that Mustafa was built only on the brake pedal, not on the gas, only on the brake pedal. But the RPM is shooting up really high. What that means, the only way you would explain this is when Mustafa was hitting the brake, Mustafa's speed was going 55 miles an hour. Now, that's the speed limit. He's going speed limit. Now, when he wanted to use the brake, you have brake, you're going 20, you're going 30, but at that speed, when he hit the brake, you see on the dash cam that the vehicle shifts forward, that 5 shifts forward. He hit the brake. The computer inside the vehicle shows that he was hitting the brake. Twice shifts forward, but the brake gave out. Did not work. The police mechanic admit that this vehicle had brake failure, had not mechanical failure, vehicle failure. When the drive shaft disconnects from the engine, this is something called, it's bigger than mechanical failure. That's vehicle malfunction. The vehicle malfunction. The RPM is going shooting up. Stuff is hitting the brake. So there's mechanical failure. The question here is, the police department admit that there's brake failure, mechanical failure, vehicle malfunction, that Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. It's on their body cam. There's another body cam where investigator Chad Mason and Trump say that Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. Let's watch that body cam. The question here is, who tampered with Mustafa's vehicle? Was it just vehicle malfunction, or did someone tamper with Mustafa's vehicle? Well, when we take a deep dive into everything surrounding the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, we're finding disturbing details. We're finding out there's a Billy, there's this guy in the background, there's Billy. Keep it up, God damn it, I'll tell you. There was a 16-year-old daughter, her dad worked for her, that she hangs out with the strippers, that she solicited Glenn the jealous ex-boyfriend to kill Mustafa. And unbeknownst to Mustafa, Mustafa is in that environment. This is a month after he had that incident with Billy, who went viral, and he almost ran out of business for being racist against Mustafa. 7 million people got to see a video on the internet, and he almost ran out of business. People were boycotting that business. And Mustafa meets Dorothy and her daughter, who is now saying a lot of hearsay and is terrified because we have her on a recorded line, we have Glenn Ford on a recorded line, we have the Googleness inside the apartment that shows that she's lying about Mustafa. She said Mustafa hated her mom, hated the kids, he's a horrible human being, when she never lived at the apartment. Kylie was separated by CPS. Mustafa met her, saw her once or twice. And she didn't live at the apartment. But she has a lot to say about Mustafa. It sure sounds like Kylie is being influenced by her surroundings. By her dad, by Billy, the strippers. I mean, when she walks into the forensic interview, Kylie says, "My dad is forcing me to be here." Let's watch that forensic interview.
So, what is it that brought you here? Like, why are you here to talk to me today?
Because my dad made me. Why are you here? Because my dad made me. Now we have the discovery, and we have notes in the discovery that Kylie was interviewed with the kids 2 days to the vehicle accident. Why is her interview deleted from the discovery only to be redone a year later? Does that make sense? The police department is engaged in coaching the kids, in painting Mustafa as a monster, and using that 16-year-old girl, at the time she was 16, now she's 18, to prosecute Mustafa. But why? Why are they targeting Mustafa? Well, if you take a deep dive into what was happening with Mustafa before the vehicle accident, you'll get your answer. Mustafa was in an active lawsuit against the police. He was suing the police. The police had a lawyer. The police had private investigators. And they're closing the gap on Mustafa. You want to tell me that their private investigators did not know Billy? The police, lawyer, private investigator did not make contact with Billy? Did not make contact with Kylie? Did not make contact with Glenn Ford? Now, the police, through the police body cams, and the more we talk about those body cams, you're going to see a targeted effort by the police to turn a vehicle accident, who they admit on their own body cams that this is a vehicle accident, who the computer inside the vehicle show that this is a vehicle accident, that the dash camera show it's a vehicle accident. They want to turn it into a murder. And they're using Kylie, they're using Glenn Ford, they're using strippers out of that club to testify into Mustafa's character. They're using individuals who has a vested interest
All right, the audio should be on. No sound? Oh, well. All right. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? There should be audio. Okay. All right, good. All right, good. All right, sounds good. Perfect.
I've watched the evidence, everything on the internet, and the police department is lying. And you have an obligation, Amy Ashworth, to hold the police department accountable. You're the one bringing up charges. Now, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth tells her, one, we're not going to try this on the internet. And two, you don't know what evidence I have in my case against Mustafa. Well, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, Delegate Kelly Fowler. Delegate Kelly Fowler, I want to tell you that Commonwealth Attorney Amy Ashworth lied to you. Because today I have every piece of evidence in evidence.com. What she talked about is
All right, Farrah, sounds good.
Now I have it. And it shows that Commonwealth and Amy Ashworth are protecting.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the internet went out. Maybe the internet service got disrupted.
Is engaged in child abuse. They've lied to kids, Dorothy's kids, a 9-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old. They've lied to them and painted a monster. Now I have the evidence that they lied about my brother. That they're using kids. They're weaponizing kids against my brother. And I have evidence that they lied. I have the forensic interview where it shows that they lied. One of the kids. You don't have to take my word for it. Delegate Kelly Fowler. You can watch the forensic interview with Jaden. It's on the internet. And the kid himself, the 14-year-old kid said, he's beating himself up. And he says that a police officer, the detective told me that Mustafa ran away, left my 5-year-old baby sister, and if it wasn't for him running away, my 5-year-old sister would have still been alive today. They're talking about, Jaden is talking about the police department, a badge and a uniform. Imagine, Delegate Kelly Fowler, imagine that this is your kids, and your husband just came out of a vehicle accident, or you just came out of a tragic vehicle accident. You wake up out of a coma, and you find yourself injected with 50 mcg of fentanyl from the paramedic. Your toxicology report, no alcohol, no drugs. In the meantime, you were helicoptered to the hospital. You just woke up out of a coma, and the police department, because they're targeting you, and ma'am, you know a little bit too much about being targeted. Your husband was the police officer. Your husband is not okay with corruption, and he was fired from the police department because he stood up against corruption. So you know what it takes when you stand up against corruption. Now imagine you wake up out of a vehicle accident, out of a coma, and the police department take advantage of your vehicle accident, and they're coaching the kids and painting you as a monster. I mean, we have body cams where Mustafa is in the hospital. Mustafa was just helicoptered. We have documents that he just woke up out of a coma. This is Mustafa. He's in the hospital, just woke up out of a coma, and the police are toying with Mustafa. For 4 hours, they tell him, your family is going to be okay. And after 4 hours, they tell him, the family that we told you is okay, they've been dead 4 hours ago. Only to have a recording, they're recording a camera, and they're hoping that the 50 mcg of fentanyl that the paramedic injected him with, he's not going to have a reaction when they're telling him that you lost your family. So they can take that body cam to the prosecutor and say, look, he didn't care about his family when we told him that his family was dead. Now, when they see that Mustafa is crying, is broken, and all he's doing is asking for his family, they seal off the body cam. They seal off the body cam. They go to a judge and they seal off the body cam. And what do? They falsify the police report and they say Mustafa did not care about his family. So they seal off the body cam. They seal off the body cam, falsify the police report, and lie to the community. Because they didn't get what they were hoping they were going to get after they injected Mustafa with 50 mcg of fentanyl. Now, keep in mind, delegate, that they falsified that police report, and investigator Chad Mason wrote that Mustafa did not care about his family when we told him that your family was deceased. What do we see here? Mustafa's crying, Mustafa's broken, Mustafa is broken. He's crying for his family. But they seal off that body cam. As a matter of fact, they don't just seal it off, they seal it off from the jury itself. The jury is not allowed to see this. Anything that shows Mustafa cared, they sealed it. This is a targeted effort. A targeted effort to have an impartial trial. And when you reached out to Commonwealth Attorney Amy Ashworth a year ago, she lied to you. Now, the question is, how does a delegate feel being lied